All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 30th day of December, 2019. Well, I hope everyone had a good week last week. The husband and I did a little bit of a vacay, which was kind of nice. We stayed locally, actually. We have a timeshare, and that I bought years ago, and we still have some years left on it. And rather than traveling somewhere else, we just decided to try to get a place locally because there's a couple of resorts that are here in our area. We thought, well, this way we won't have to worry about the chickens and all of that. So we just stayed here and went to a place, and it was great. So it was nice to get away, though, from the house for a little while. And even though we came back almost every day to feed the girls. So anyhow, I hope everyone had a nice holiday. And this week is going to be an interesting one, was where we make the transition from 2019 to 2020. And so you've got a numerological transition of a 3 energy into a 22, and a 22 is a master number for the cosmic builder, and that is regarded as the most powerful number that we have because it's cosmic manifestation. It indicates to me that this next year, I've been saying this, 2018 was an 11 year, and so that's the master number 11 for illumination and enlightenment. We learned a lot, didn't we, in 2018? Whether in our personal lives or collectively, we learned a lot. Unfortunately, the collective is really influencing our personal lives these days, and so I've been doing these readings from kind of both perspectives, oftentimes, really, to try to get people to understand how, again, the macrocosm affects the microcosm, or the microcosm affects the macrocosm. Just depends on how you want to look at it in terms of effect. Macrocosm in terms of the effect of the greater whole affecting the individual as the microcosm, but it could also be the other way around. Just depends on how you want to see that transactional energy, basically, or that energetic exchange. But then last year we had or this year still, the 3 is bringing things into alignment. It's catalyzing. It's getting us ready for something more. We learned some things, we had to let it gel, and we had to make some decisions, and those got made. And now we're going to move into some other new phase, but it's one that's going to have a soul level, I don't know, purpose, effect, impetus, perhaps. But these years have been interesting, and I think that this next year is going to be even more so. So, we may see something. It's almost like the energy on a full moon. Or during that time where you have the maiden phase, the mother phase during the actual full moon, the day of that, and then the following day, the crone, where you see this 3-stage type of a gateway, if you will, or a portal, or a transition. Same thing on an eclipse, where, a solar eclipse, it's said that you experience the energy of an entire year, in that transition moment of the eclipse itself. The moon, a lunar eclipse, the same thing, only that's a month's worth of experience all in one, moment, basically. So the magic you can work in those moments is profound. But so is the magic we can work collectively, both transforming our personal lives and also our collective existence together. It's time this next year now, start beginning Wednesday, to begin anew in a big way. So blessings to all as we go through this process together. So let's go ahead and look at, we'll just do a little bit more housekeeping. I wanted to tell you I haven't finished the correspondences yet and the astrological information that I do every day on the blog, or most every day on the blog, over at imsteppingaside.com. But the weekly Rune and Moon is up. The goddess forecast is up. That one is interesting because it's basically talking about nurturing self and others, being willing to allow others to nurture us, what that's like. I use the goddess planetary bodies, Juno, Vesta, Pallas, Ceres, and Lilith, who comes in to challenge everybody there in the end. To rethink things, rethink how you approach things in terms of nurturing self and others, and allowing others to nurture you. Understand the boundaries that are involved there, that sometimes we can try to nurture those who really don't want it, and those who don't want it, maybe just take a step back and allow a little bit of it and just see how it feels. It just sort of gives you an extra little boost is all. Your sovereignty is safe. Nobody's taking it. It's just sometimes someone needs to love you. So it's just kind of how that is. So that's interesting. Now, the other cool thing, I finally made the decision to publish a newsletter. It's an email newsletter. I've done this. I've expanded the affiliate marketing that I do. It's to have more advertisers. I was just doing Amazon, and then I was doing a thing called Word Ads that Jetpack. I have Jetpack and for my blog, and it's one of the things that you can do to monetize your blog. I chose Jetpack initially because they weren't the weird ads, that seem almost pornographic. I didn't want anything like that. And so I'm very careful with the affiliate companies that I'm doing now, that I'm promoting, to have it be more wellness-oriented, herbals. There's some cannabis seeds. There's CBD stuff. There's yoga stuff. I got Gaia. You'll see some ads for Gaia on there. If you haven't signed up for Gaia, join Gaia. It's great. I've been a member of Gaia for years. I don't know, 3 years now, 4 years. I don't know how many times I've renewed. I just renewed for this next year. I think you can get, 3 months for $29 or something, so you can try it. And if you don't like it, well, then cancel. But Gaia is a lot. It's got a lot of great spiritual oriented programming. Talks about UFO stuff. There's cosmic disclosure. There's all of that. So check out Gaia. I really recommend it. But there's and that one's not actually yet, or maybe I'll have time while I'm watching this to update some of the links below the video, but you'll see that as well. But did I talk about the newsletter? No, I don't know if I did or I didn't. I got into the affiliate stuff. But anyway, the newsletter was a way to, I think I started. The newsletter was a way to also share some of the stuff I do on the blog, share some of the stuff I do here, with people weekly. I decided to do it weekly. But it also, so it's got links to that. It's got links to posts on the blog. It's got some other stuff on it. Like this next week, I just was putting together that. I've added more stuff to it, so it's actually going to be a little bit bigger. But I have, the lunar transit information. I have just some astrological forecasts for the week. There's a magical corner. There's an herbal corner. I'm putting up teas that I formulated. The first one in the first edition is about keeping your system flushed. I'll probably figure out a way to have a newsletter section on the blog and copy and paste them over there, but over at imsteppingaside.com. But if you want to sign up, I've got a link to the newsletter post just underneath the video. There's the section where you can follow me everywhere, and there's some links there and stuff to the affiliate stuff. If you want to, you can click on that newsletter link, and that takes you to the blog, to the newsletter post, and you can read about it, what it's going to be about. And down at the bottom, you can sign up. And you just put your email in, hit send, and that's what I get. I don't get anything else. It goes to MailChimp. I don't get anything, and that's where I do my newsletters, over there. And then also on the side panel of the blog, up toward the top, there's also a place there you can sign up. And then I'm going to include the sign up below every post I write, so just to get the word out. I've shared it on Facebook and Twitter. I think I shared it maybe on Pinterest. I'm not sure. But check out Pinterest too. I've been revamping that with I have an affiliate board, and also I put up my books there too that I've written. I did a My Books I've Written board, which I don't know why I never did that, but I'm not very good at marketing myself. So anyhow. And then don't forget, there's also a link for the Patreon page. So check that out as well. if you want to support me over there. So in any event, let's go ahead and look at the forecast. It was as of 9:53 this morning, my time, Pacific Standard Time here on the West Coast in Oregon. The moon was in the first house in Pisces, wanting to take some time out today and focus on health issues, maybe emotional well-being. Pay attention to your intuition today because it's going to guide you. There's a sextile between the moon and Mercury where it's telling us that our ideas are going to flow well and self-expression is good. However, Mercury in the 11th house in Capricorn, you're going to want to plan carefully, and with those ideas that are flowing, you want to exercise just a little bit of caution and maybe seek counsel from friends and associates about those new ideas that are flowing today with the moon sextile Mercury. So you have a good basis there for communicating and all of that, interacting today with others, especially if you're planning something. Today, the 11th house in Capricorn, that's where the sun is. Relationships are favored. Again, seeking counsel with others. Conjunct Jupiter between the sun and Jupiter. Confidence is high. So today is actually a really good day for getting things going and for working things out with people. Originality is favored. There's a Mercury trine Uranus is discussing that. Mercury square Chiron, however, there could be somebody or something that gets in the way of what you want to do. Now, you're going to have to not rise to the occasion there because this is likely somebody that's just, not thinking, right? And they don't mean to cause the trouble they're causing, or it's just a situation that's just sort of happens. You're like, oh, geez, And so just sort of forgive what you have to forgive and let it go and just allow the moment to pass without really rising to the occasion. So in any event, that's it on that. Let's go ahead and bring the other notes back up and let's get started on the cards today. Again, if you haven't been here before, welcome. Thank you so much for coming by. If you're returning, thank you. It's so nice to see everyone. Again, I'm going to take 3 cards. I'm going to take the 13th card each time. If I need a 4th, we'll decide that after we look at the 3. And then I'm going to take a rune from the Elder Futhark out of my rune bag. We're going to add that to the mix. And then I'm going to throw down my 4 geomancy primary runes, and we're going to create a geomancy glyph to take a look at. Typically, it's going to be the underlying focus of everything. We'll find that out at the end, and then turns out it's kind of our significator. Or it could be an outlier that we need to pay attention to. So let's go ahead and take our first 3 cards and see what we begin with on this 30th day of December 2019. Well, it's a 333 day, isn't it? So we have a portal energy today, portaling us, providing a gateway into the new year of the cosmic builder. So how about that? A triple goddess energy gateway. Again, with the goddess forecast, learn how to accept nurturing and learn how to nurture others in a way that respects boundaries and preserves the relationship and doesn't smother everything. So anyhow, let's get going. So here we have the 9 of Wands. We'll just go ahead and set that down. I need to spend some time bending my cards back the other direction. You do this every day, and eventually your cards sort of get in this comma shape, which you don't need. All right, let's do another card. So the first is a 9 of Wands. So you're talking the fire element and a 9 energy, so endings. Here we have the 10 of Cups, endings and beginnings. I think it's already starting to indicate maybe the transition this week that we're going to make from one year to the next. Yeah, the Six of Swords, a journey to something new. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 6 in the middle. So we're going to have a 9, a 6, and a 10. We're going to have the, instead of a yod where two of them are supporting the one or the one is defining the two, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a, first there was this, then there was this, then there was this. And I think that it has to do with transition. Likely the rune is going to give us a little more information. We'll talk about it here and we'll see if we need to add a fourth card. I don't think so, but we'll just see. As we talk, maybe, it'll be apparent that we do need one. But we start out with the 9 of Wands. Wands is the fire element. We see a man holding, he's been through battle. You can see the bandage on his head. And he looks sort of furtively back at the other wands that are behind him, the staffs that are behind him. Now the 9 is about endings, it's about completion, so something has finished. You see a demarcation line here separating out. You see that right there. This is one of those recurrent themes in tarot, by the way. We've been talking about that lately, that when you see that, it's the way I interpret it anyway, is that there was this and now there's that. So something has definitely ended and something else is maybe just, it's almost like he's just standing there like he can't believe it's over, The fire element is about our will. Wands is about our will. It's about creativity. It can also be about intuition. But it's almost like the staff that he's holding belongs right here. So maybe he's claiming his own sense of power, his own will. He's been through the battle and he's standing tall, and in a sense he's won because there's the end of it, but there's sort of like an uneasy truce maybe. If we look at that in terms of our relationships with others, we cannot help, unfortunately, to look at it through the prism of the political situation. And right now, with impeachment already have happened, and yes, it hasn't gone to the Senate, but why would you take it somewhere where they're not going to actually do things lawfully? So you got to wait and until such time as they don't have a choice that they have to behave themselves and follow the procedure, right? This is the most important thing that a country has to face, is when we have to do something like this. It doesn't happen very often, and it hasn't happened often, but the reason that it's happening now, people now just have to come to terms with that. And that's what I think we're doing with the 6. The 6 suggests a different level of harmony. It suggests higher self-influence. Here we see what looks like a family, a young family huddled against the elements, the snow there. They're traveling across water. Again, you can see that same demarcation line way in the distance, can't you? Not in the same manner as you see it here. It's not as defined, but I wonder if you could see it much more closely, if it would in fact look that way. But you see challenges in the distance, right? But they're plodding along, aren't they? Swords is about the air element. It's about our direction. It's about intellect, reason. It's about our thought process and where our thoughts are taking us. So if you want to think about this in terms of perspective, the 6 of Swords, where is that perspective going to take us? If we've had to come to terms with something and the battle lines have been drawn, or the battle is over, or, this is signaling some kind of a shift into other thinking that allows for this to happen. The 10 of Cups, emotional satisfaction and completion, and the beginning of something new. We have a rainbow there. The light's returning. Again, another demarcation line. They're greeting the rainbow. They're greeting their success. They're greeting their emotional fulfillment, their emotional security. The kids are dancing, mom and dad, having shifted their perception. No longer feel the need to have an uneasy truce with others, because what happened, whatever caused the situation to begin with, well, that's over. And the reason that it's over is not necessarily because the situation has ended, but because there was a shift in perception about it. You know, whatever is going on in the country, whatever is trickling down into our lives as a result, it's going to require that shift in perception, and it won't be easy. You know, it's going to be emotional. You know, you see the snow in the background there. You might not get the responses that you want right away, but if you stay vigilant, oh, and we have Dagaz, don't we? I was hoping for this one. Dagaz is the 23rd rune of the Elder Futhark. As the 23rd, that's a 5 energy, so we're talking change, but we're talking energy, and this is not my definition of it, it's someone else's, and it's brilliant. The energy at its saturation point becomes its opposite. I'm going to draw this one out because it's just great. I wonder if this will work. This red pen. Oh, yeah. But here is Dagaz, a bind rune in and of itself. There's Dagaz. I'm doing this in the dark, so. Bolstered by Isa. Freezing that whole process, the cyclical process into place. We're in a cycle all of the time. It's a given. We also have Laguz on either end, both up and down. So flowing with others. That bottom one down there is not very good, but you get the idea. In the center, we have Gebo with balanced energy exchange. Basically, we're moving from one state to the next, and how do we do that? With a shift in perception, don't we? Yeah, and then if we're going to, we can explode Gebo in all directions with Kenaz, the light of spirit in all directions. You see that? So Dagaz is a really complicated rune, isn't it? And basically what it's telling us is we need to make this transition. If we expect to be happy, we're just going to have to lay down our arms with one another. We're going to have to shift our perception toward one of shared purpose and unified consciousness, collective consciousness, and out of the us versus them mentality that we've been going through. We have enough information now. We have enough, we've let it gel. We're making decisions. We're bringing things into focus. And now, beginning Wednesday, it's time to start building something different than what we've been experiencing. Let's go ahead and do the geomancy rune and see what we come up with there. And I'm going to need my magnifying glass here with the LED light. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, so we've got Pur, and Pur is a little bit of unstable energy. Think young boy. You know how young boys are. They don't have a lot of impulse control. Basically, it's an emotional situation. Mars and Scorpio, I think, might be part of it. But basically what you have here, you have single dots for beginning at the top, fire and air, and down at the bottom with earth. So those are active principles, and then you can see that the dual dot is a passive principle for water. So emotions are a little bit out of kilter here, but at the same time, there's the underlying need for unity. And as much as, there might still be some underlying weirdness or confusion or what have you with everything, and you kind of see that here, there is that demarcation line showing that we're really on the other side of that now. And that because of that, we're ready to shift our perception into something different and going forward together in shared purpose with others. See a little bit of water there, so the emotions are there in the whole thing, but at the same time, it has to happen. If we don't shift our perceptions, if we don't shift how we feel about one another, we're not going to get here. And again, another demarcation line. And they're ready to step into the future, aren't they? Into new beginnings. This next year with the cosmic builder, we see that, in letting go of that which no longer serves and moving into the light, letting go of the darkness and moving into the light. Degas is about a new day. I don't think we need a fourth card. Well, I think that again, what this is I don't know, aligning with maybe is this whole energetic shift from one period to the next. And in a sense, Degas really represents the energy of 2018, 2019, and 2020, if you think about it. Because if you think of one end being 2018, the center being 2019, and the other end being 2020, we have enlightenment, we have alignment, and we have manifestation. And that's kind of what we have here today. Enlightenment, alignment, and moving into the future in shared purpose with others. So I think we did it. Think about this. We're going to see how much. I suspect that this sort of thing is going to continue to resonate throughout the week as we continue here through Thursday. And let's just see. I'm going to go ahead and be here on the 1st. I'm not going to take that day off since I took last week off. I won't take that day off. I'll come back and we'll get together again and look at the cards and the runes to see just how this transition is progressing. But pay attention to the energetic shift that's about to happen. We're in the process of it. Today is a 333 portal gateway day, if you will, where we're truly coming into alignment with our true purpose. Again, mind, body, spirit balance with the emphasis, the heavy weight on spirit on the end that's truly controlling the ship here. We're not these bodies. This universe that we live in is not real. It's a projection of our collective consciousness via the Creator. Everything that we are is reflecting the mind of the Creator. And so if we are that, then we are also co-creative as well. We should be creating our experiences from the standpoint of spirit and not the standpoint of ego. And in a sense, that's also what Degas is telling us, to allow the light of spirit to inform this entire process so that ego is in fact transmuted into spirit. And then we progress in shared purpose from there. So in any event, thank you so much for coming by. Come back tomorrow. Click subscribe. I'd love you to do that. Go over, subscribe to my newsletter, please. And you'll get that in your inbox every Sunday. So in any event, the next one's going to be even better than the first, I promise. It's got more stuff. So anyway, thank you so much again for coming by, and we'll see you tomorrow. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.